Today, I wanted to lay some groundwork and introduce you to this new way of looking at things that I've got. The new way is that I get stuck in this, nope, that's not it either. That's not it either. Okay. All right, here we go. This is my brain, and it's kind of roughly divided in two, right? Here, this is my left brain, this is my right brain, okay? Now, I find that I will end up in a particular way of being that might be characterized, that you could describe as either left or right brain mode, right? On the left, which I know is your right, but if I'm facing you, it's, yeah, anyway. On the left is things like analyze, crunch, maybe stress, go mode, self-consciousness, things like that. Hardly an exhaustive list, but I'm winging it. Okay. And then my right brain mode could be like creativity, compassion, empathy, let's see, embodiment, and connection. Again, hardly an exhaustive list. I'm just trying to give you a rough idea of how these two sides compare. Now, these two parts of our brains are designed to work together. They're designed to complement each other. But the thing is, I think societally, we tend to default to this. You just end up like living over here, analyzing, crunching, stressing, go mode, being self-conscious, that kind of stuff. At least I do. And over here, these things are a little more nebulous, a little more mushy, a little less prioritized culturally. And certainly they aren't implicitly encouraged like these are. Hell, these ones are explicitly encouraged. And, you know, there's a way of describing, another way of illustrating this that I want to do real quick, and that doesn't work. I need a thing. Dirty shirt to the rescue. Okay. There's another way of illustrating this. I'm going to turn my brain here into a tachometer. So we have, let's see. Over here is like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 RPM, okay? If you're not into mechanical transmissions or something, I'm sorry. Hopefully this still lands. You know, this little spectrum here of just like speed of processing starts to get a little loopy over here when you start getting into the red. Okay? Something kind of like that. And then we've got our, and I'm just going to arbitrarily send the needle this way. Okay. When my brain is running at kind of like a medium low, then these things kind of just happen. And when my brain starts revving way up and starts hitting the red, then I'm over here. And that leads to just a high level of stress and anxiety. Okay? And to just take the car analogy as far as I can before it breaks down, there's an appropriate time for each, right? Sometimes you want to go nice and slow and be fuel efficient and take the time to observe the scenery, whatever. And then there's also a time where you need to go fast. Like this isn't bad over here. It's just, it needs to be used appropriately. And you don't want to be driving around town trying to run errands, but running at 7,000 RPM. And you also, even if you needed to go here, like even if that was your intention, if you go too fast, you're gonna spin your wheels, you're gonna lose traction, and you're not gonna go anywhere, but you're just gonna make a bunch of smoke and ruin your tires and that kind of thing. I like analogies until I don't, and then I hate them. Okay, this is all well and good. There's a spectrum, there's a purpose for either or, there's a balance in any given situation, that kind of thing, right? But what I am more and more coming to appreciate is that I haven't had control. It's like I might want to be over here, but I'm over here and it's not serving me. It's messing with me. And that's what happened today. I wanted to make a video about these different brain modes that I experience and that I want to have more control over, but I was stuck over here. I was kind of low on sleep, tired, and feeling the stress and pressure of like, I gotta make a video. What's my idea? I've got this chunk of time. My wife has the kids. I gotta make a video. And I worked myself up into a tizzy, and I got coffee, and coffee just sent me the rest of the way. Now I'm just like spinning my wheels, but going absolutely nowhere. But what I needed was more of this, because I'm trying to figure out how to make a video. I'm trying to come up with a creative idea of how to illustrate what I'm thinking. And here, like I have to think something, and then I have to creatively illustrate it. There's got to be, if I'm going to be a productively creative person, then I need to learn how to drive this brain of mine. I can't be so far on this end that I don't go anywhere, and I can't be so far on this end that I don't go anywhere. It's like two ends of the spectrum actually equal kind of a similar nothing result. So this is something that I don't want to just leave up to chance anymore. I don't want to just be frustrated at why I'm always stuck over here. Why am I stressed, anxious, and depressed, or just kind of in burnout mode? Burning out. It's the car analogy. I want to be able to come over here, and also, not on this list would be like being able to be in a state of awe and wonder, feeling oneness, and just having this peace and all of these things that you don't get when you're over here, right? This is it's overdone for me. I overdo this stuff. And I like the idea of learning how to change this system to suit me instead of being a victim of it. Because if I let society drive this thing, then I'm always going to be over here. Because there are so many factors of our modern life that put us in this left brain mode without the balance of the right brain. And I think that comes with dire consequences. I think it hurts our mental health. I think it hurts our relationships. It hurts our connection to the universe. It hurts our connections to our authentic selves. Without the balance of right brain mode, I think we get crazy, we get violent, we get all manner of mental dis-ease. I think it actually goes to just regular disease. Like, I think being over here all the time will cause disease. And that's not new. I mean, that's basically common knowledge at this point, that stress can cause disease. So I'm looking now at the different things in my life and going, hey, how are these different factors influencing this picture? You know, what role does scrolling have in this? What role does national news have in this? You know, how does it affect my own brain tachometer? What role does hustle culture and capitalism have on this? What role does my work have on this? What role, on and on and on. But I really like the idea of exploring the factors that influence this. And just as a teaser, if I'm over here more and I want to get over there more, I know some ways that can influence that, but I don't know them very well. So, for example, you can use movement. You can exercise, dance, you just do explorative, explorational movement. You could do some sort of movement with another person, dancing, or something even kind of more fun and abstract, like contact improv, something like that, acro yoga, right? And that'll put you over here. You could try meditation. That's a fun one that I've been trying. And I didn't ever think it was fun until very recently. Now I'm like, oh, I like that. That's a tool that gets me over there. Breath work is huge. I know these are kind of some trendy things right now, but I think there's a reason, and I think it's worth exploring. And I want to know better for myself what things influence this picture. Music is a big one, and then medicinal-like things like marijuana. That's one of the things that I've loved about marijuana, is that it'll put me over here. And all of a sudden it's like, I am present, I am embodied, I am empathetic and creative, and I'm getting these insights and I'm having spiritual moments, and it's like, wow, well, that's what it was doing. It was putting me over here. It was getting me out of this left brain bullshit, or at least the overemphasis of it, and it was putting me over here, and then all of a sudden, man, my universe was opening up. So I'm going to start looking at what factors I can control to manufacture the situation that I want, the internal situation that I want. Because I am not going to get what I want. I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve if I can't be in the driver's seat here. If I'm leaving it up to chance, if I'm leaving it up to social media, I'll never get out of here. And I don't want to live there. I want to be creative. I want to be compassionate. I want to have a good connection to myself. I want to have beautiful relationships. I want to be in awe of existence in the universe. I want to feel my body and feel good in it. And I want all of these things. And that means I need to have access to this. It can't just be a random, oh, I feel good today, maybe. Like, I need to be able to say, I want to be in this mode, or I want to be in this mode, or I want to be, wherever on this tachometer, this brain tachometer, wherever is best suited for what I want to do, I want to have some control over that. And so I'm going to be looking at those things. I'm going to be looking at, meditation and breath work and movement and marijuana and things like it, and whatever else I can come up with, whatever else some other people might help me, get to. I'm going to be looking at those tools that affect this, and I can play around with that. I can experiment. I can do little tests, and I can share it. And that's the cool thing, that it's a process that is, I think it's incredibly valuable, because I think we need this as a society. We need access to it. My cat wants in. We need access to it. It's valuable. I think it makes for a more powerful person. You end up with more power. If you've got access to the full range, that means you've got a vehicle that can go anywhere, that can do anything, that can respond to the contextual needs of the moment. And that means I need it all. I don't want to be stuck over here anymore. And that's what happened to me today. I got stuck over there. I got stuck in a mode that just stressed me out. I didn't do anything. It was not helpful. And that's why it was perfect that it happened, because that's actually what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about these things. And because I didn't have the right recipe and I didn't implement it, I ended up over here without my consent. And that's not cool. So there it is. Oh, and by the way, to get myself out of it, I did some breath work and I closed my eyes and I actually took a little nap. It was a little power nap, but I woke up in a different mode. I wasn't over here anymore. And then I had the headspace to be able to talk about it. Whereas before, I'd start talking about it and then I'm just rambling and I'm getting lost in my overanalyzation of the whole picture, and I didn't know how to say it and all of that. And then I did my breath work and took a little power nap, and then it happened. So I'm going to be doing some tests, and I'm going to make a menu of options that we can all look at and be like, hey, I'd like to try this one. I'd like to give this a shot. Hey, let's do 5 minutes of this type of movement followed by 5 minutes of this type of meditation. And let's see, does that 10-minute investment give me an advantage in my day? And I know that we'll be able to find stuff like that that will make us all happier, more productive, more effective, more all the good stuff. Okay. Maybe even better at vocabulary, which I could use. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to say thank you, and I hope you have a balanced day. Okay, I'll see you next time.